There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura RDX, $399 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
We are live. It is the Raw recap. The debut on Netflix just went down, and I thought it was pretty damn good. Appreciate you joining us either on YouTube, on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, the Facebook page on X at Stanley Media House. Please like, subscribe, share, follow, get it out there. The Netflix or Raw on Netflix, the debut, I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. Where there's some times, again, everybody's like, oh, there's only 4 or 5 matches. That's what WWE does. WWE is about, it's the entertainment. It's not, you're not going to get 27 matches in, and they end up going only 3 hours and like 8 minutes or 3 hours and 3 minutes or something like that. I know there was word out there that it might go 3.5 hours long. I am very thankful, Triple H and WWE, that you guys only went to the 3 hours. So now I can jump on here, get this done, and then continue on to my activities. But overall, again, the presentation that WWE does with these types of events, it's going to be interesting to see how it looks going forward. Okay, again, it's the first one. So you've got, The Undertaker. John Cena's doing his farewell tour. You've got The Rock. You're in the Intuit Dome, which is state of the art, as far as, entertainment experience and everything. The Clippers went all out with the stadium. You saw some new shots from WWE with the drones, which I thought added so much production value to the show that, it was just tremendous to me. And again, I get it. Some people want more of the wrestling, and they're stuck on it was only 3 or 4 matches, and it's not for everybody. I understand that. That's why you have the alternatives. You have New Japan, you have AEW, you have those like that. But this is what WWE delivers. The nights like this, the production, when you go in and, it's the Intuit Dome, Cole welcomes you in. You go to the screen, and then they play, which they released earlier on X and some of their other social media avenues, the cold open, and it's Triple H narrating it. And then there's some, I can't remember if it was actually pyro. I think there's a couple pyros. The curtain drops, and there's Triple H standing in the ring. They make things bigger than what they are. This is what WWE excels at. This is what you saw here tonight. Get the celebrities in the building, show them off. It's about the pop culture. That's where, to me, WWE excels at. And I think Netflix is going to help them with that because, again, you saw tonight, you had Gabriel Iglesias there. What's happening? His special comes out tomorrow. So now Netflix and WWE are going to partner up. It's going to happen more often. You're going to see, stars for shows that are coming out on Netflix at the WWE Raw events. Now, again, is every WWE Raw going to be as action-packed or as star-studded as tonight? Probably not. Probably not. You'll probably get Cena on a lot of them. I think you'll probably get Roman, at least leading up to the Royal Rumble and some things like that. It's also going to be interesting to see how much of this was able to do because the way the Intuit Dome is set up compared to maybe some of the older stadiums as they go to, the MSGs and the other ones as they go through and do a lot of these live shows with Raw. So we'll see, again, did the Intuit Dome help them? The Intuit Dome hurt them. We'll have to see which way that is going and see how that plays out going forward. But, again, Triple H gets there and he says, welcome to the Netflix era of WWE. Of course, it stops. The stadium goes dark. Out comes The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And then, this wasn't even The Rock. This wasn't the final boss. This was Dwayne Johnson, the board of directors. To me, that's what you got tonight. I thought maybe there'd be more involvement than what he actually did. And when we'll get into the match here in a minute with the tribal combat. But he comes out, and I not found it weird, but I was like, oh, they showed his daughters. So right away, it's not going to be the final boss, right? He's not going to get out here and start cursing. His daughters are right there in the front row. So I was already going, okay, it's a softer side of the final boss. And then he goes in and he thanks Netflix executives. He thanks Cody. He thanks Roman. It was like, okay, this is the board of director, Dwayne Johnson, speaking to everybody. And then he finally at the end says, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, and leaves the ring, goes over to Cody. They have an embrace, and he leaves. And then Solo's music hits, and I found it, I was like, man, it's odd that they're going to have the tribal combat match first. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, what better person to have be in the first match of the Netflix era than Roman Reigns? Now you can add that to his accolades. He was in the first ever official match of the Netflix era. He took on Solo Sikoa, and man, let me tell you something. This was probably the best match. I know they've been in tag teams, the 8-man, all these matches. This was probably the best match I'd seen them two interact in here tonight. And maybe because it was one-on-one and it wasn't all the other pieces involved, as the other pieces did get involved. You had the Bloodline come in, take out Roman. Solo hits the Samoan Spike, gets a 2 count, and then here comes Sammy and Jimmy Uso out. And then, of course, they do a super kick, a haluva kick, and then a spear, and Solo kicks out. Roman, to me, did more for Solo tonight than I think a lot has been done for Solo. I feel like tonight, with as much of the match that he was given from Roman, and then you saw him, battle through some things and kick out and things like that, I thought this made Solo look more like a monster and a more main eventer than he had. I get it, he first Cody. I get that he did all this other stuff, but to me, this match here put Solo, I get it, in a losing effort, but to me, it elevated Solo more in this match than I'd seen any other match so far. To me, my opinion, Totally Sean Stanley's opinion here. So, and then the camera angle, this was one, they had so many good camera angles tonight, but here's this one. It's Solo on his knees, Paul Heyman's on his knees with the Ula Fala, and he's about to reach it out, and then in the background, the way they have the camera, you can start seeing The Rock walking out from the backstage area and heading to the ring, and you can start hearing the murmurings of the crowd, and it picks them up. I thought that camera angle just meant so much. I didn't know what was going to happen, but the fact that, you could see The Rock just coming in from the backstage area without even, no music, no nothing. It was just him walking out and the camera picking it up. And then you could hear the reactions as you start seeing him walking forward. You could start hearing the rumblings from the crowd because now they're noticing that The Rock is coming out. And I thought some of the camera angles tonight, and we'll get into the Jey Uso entrance in a little bit, then The Rock comes down, he gets to Ula Fala, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, here's the moment he's gonna do something, and we get the final boss or something, and it didn't happen. He puts it on Roman. They do the handshake, embrace, and he tells him he loves him and this and that, and then he goes and he stands in the corner. And then Solo does his acknowledge me. The one thing that I did find interesting, and I don't know if you've noticed it or if maybe I'm looking into it too much, it did look like The Rock had a small smirk. And maybe it was just happiness of what Roman, the fact that he's standing in the ring, Roman's in the middle of the ring, the crowd's reacting to their family legacy, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. It may have just been that. But there was a little smirk on his face, and I was like, okay, is this going to go anywhere? And I'm interested to see, does it go anywhere? Do they play it out? Does it go anywhere? You saw they showed backstage footage later on where The Rock is shaking hands in the back. He's got his Terramana tequila. He's talking with Cody. I think he had a drink with Cody. He's living his best life, man. I just wonder if this is ultimately going to lead anywhere further down the line. Don't know. We'll see. But I think they did leave it open a little bit to where, again, he did his thing. He got it covered. I thought there was going to be something more with The Rock. And again, this is where I set myself up thinking, okay, this is going to be the perfect time to get it going. And then now it also puts doubt in my mind as far as, is The Rock going to be around during WrestleMania? There's been talk that he will be. There's talk that he won't be. So where does this lead us to for WrestleMania season? This is one of the things that I'm very interested in seeing. Does it go anywhere? Is it Roman and The Rock? Where does the new bloodline go from this? Solo. Now he has no Ula Fala. Roman has beat him. He's the OTC. The original tribal chief, the only tribal chief. Do they fall in line? Because I always thought that Rock was pulling the strings. And maybe he is, but it didn't show tonight. But again, maybe The Rock's not playing his hands. Maybe they're setting this up in a different way. Does the bloodline come back into the Roman angle here, or do they move on? It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this, and do they stay on Raw? Does Roman stay on Raw? Does the new bloodline stay on SmackDown? This is a very interesting time for WWE, and the fact that I know they've opened it up and they said, they're going to have everybody going on different brands and this and that. I almost feel like they should almost run Raw. And I was talking to my daughter and we were texting back and forth when it started I really feel like on Raw should be more of a PLE feel. It ain't got to be a WrestleMania every week. It ain't got to be, but maybe let your NXT, which Rock's going to be at NXT tomorrow. His daughter Ava, the general manager there. So we'll see what happens in there. That's very interesting. And I'm sure the CW execs are very happy that The Rock is going to show up on their network. So we'll see how that rolls out. And then in the chat, appreciate you, Dad. You're there. Appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody watching. If you're on X, if you're on Twitch, YouTube channel, Facebook, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of the support and everybody that's listening in and watching in right now, spending your evening with me here. But it's going to be interesting to see where The Rock goes from here. And like I said, with the WWE, the PLEs, make this a PLE feel on Raw. I mean, next week it's the street fight with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. You've got Chad Gable, who challenged a luchador, which I'm guessing maybe Penta makes his debut next week. Maybe, I don't know. There's talk. You saw it come across today. Some photos were leaked of him doing a photo shoot, so we'll see what happens. He says he wants the best lucha that Adam Pearce can find. So we'll see if that leads to Penta becoming a part of the whole Raw scene, or how they run Raw. Do they make it like the episodic TV series we've seen? Do they make it more PLE feeling? Tonight felt more PLE-ish, but that was more because you had the big names. You had The Rock. And as I said, so you saw Triple H opened, The Rock was second out, then they did the Roman Reigns Solo Sikoa match. The Rock comes back out. As soon as that ends, Cena is the next person out. You know, it was just one name after the other, after the other, after the other to start the show. And I believe in the first hour of the show, it was just the one match. Cena, I believe, started at about 8:50, almost 9 o'clock. And he said it's his farewell tour and he's going to enter. He did a whole speech about, he wants to, he's not going to come back to win unless he earns it or whatever. And then he says he's entering and he's going to win the Royal Rumble. And then as soon as that's over, they start showing the crowd and Logan Paul. They do a promo of Logan Paul. He's back now and he's on Raw, which I'm guessing maybe is a Netflix. They wanted that Logan Paul to be on their network. So Logan Paul now Raw. I was really hoping he was gone, but it is what it is. Logan Paul. Nothing against him as far as his athletic ability. If he's going to be here 100%, then so be it. But to come in and, win titles and disappear and then come back and it's not fair to the ones that are there day in and day out. And I know there's a lot of time off now as far as I don't think there's another live show, meaning something other than TV until like March. So, the WWE, they're going to get some time off. A lot of celebrities there tonight. You had Vanessa Hudgens, Wale was there, Macaulay Culkin, Gabriel Iglesias. What's the guy's name? The superhero guy, Amell, I think is right. Stephen Amell was there. I mean, you had the other superstars there. Tiffany Stratton got a beautiful response. Braun Breaker had the dogs barking. I thought all in all, there was one that didn't go down so well. The Hulk Hogan part of the show resounding not so well coming across on TV. And that's the other thing, too, on Netflix that I love is I know Sean Ross Sapp sent out that they had censored something The Rock said, but they let the FU solo go through loud and clear. And that was something I had to get used to because anybody that's watched on USA or any of those channels, of course, Fox as well, they would block out the audio and you would just get nothing going across as far as audio. So to sit there and listen to those chants and see everything go, fantastic thing. And the thing with Hogan now, apparently they've partnered with his Real American Beer is going to be the beer sponsor for Raw going forward. Another thing that was different for me to look at, especially when you're looking at the first thing I said, and I even texted my daughter, I was like, holy UFC. all the advertisements on the ring canvas. It was like watching a UFC event, you know, and again, it is what they have to do. That's another revenue stream for them. No, not faulting them or anything. It's just different to see that in a WWE ring. I think there was 9 advertisings. There's 3 on the bottom, 3 at the top, and 3 in the middle. So it's going to be interesting, and it just takes a little bit. It's a little bit different, but it is, again, what we're going to when we're streaming. I mean, apparently, and the international audience doesn't get commercials. We get commercials, and during those commercials, they had there was somebody on X was sending out what they were doing. One time it was a New Day interview. One time it was Travis Scott, Jay Uso, and Pat McAfee dancing on a table. They were doing things in between when in the US we were getting a commercial break. At least I was. I don't know if there's a different brand, but I thought I had the premium one and I was still getting commercials. I even asked my daughter, I was like, "Are you getting commercials?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I think the US we're getting commercials and internationally they're not. So they are getting things in between, and again, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from there. After all that went down, Liv Morgan took on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley does, they get the interference from Dom and Raquel, which we knew was going to happen. Liv Morgan takes 2 riptides, one after the other, gets pinned. Rhea Ripley, your new women's champion. And I saw a lot of people on X and on Blue Sky talking about, they did Liv wrong. And here's the thing. I don't think they did. And the fact that the story's not over. She lost the title to Rhea. And it doesn't mean that the story has to end here. She had a hell of a run. She elevated herself as a true champion. She had a great storyline going with Rhea. How long did you want to run this out? At some point, you knew Rhea was winning the title. So how long do you run this out? Like, I don't understand why everybody's like, oh, they did her wrong. They messed up her title reign. No, not really. They didn't. So it's going to be interesting. Again, people have their own, that's the thing about wrestling is there's so many different flavors of wrestling, right? So many different styles. And then also 3 people can watch wrestling and see the same thing on TV and see it 3 different ways. That's what, to me, makes pro wrestling so good. Because I could watch it and with, everything, I've been watching wrestling since I was in diapers. So with my scope of things, I start thinking, oh, they could do this. Oh, they could do that. Oh, they could do this. Somebody newer is just enthralled by, oh, whatever, And then somebody else could just be like, oh, that's just dumb. That's what makes wrestling so good. There's so many different styles, so many different, angles, storylines. And sometimes you just want to watch the wrestling. I understand that. For me, it's more about the entertainment. I love the wrestling action. They're tremendous athletes, the men and the women, whether you're watching WWE, whether you're watching AEW. But the style that you see, and I saw a lot of people complaining about this, but again, in WWE, they kind of use the concept of less is more. Are they going to do some of the high-flying stuff? Yes. But they're still getting a crowd reaction. Now, if they do that in front of an AEW crowd, do they get the same reaction? I don't know. If AEW does what they do in front of a WWE crowd, are they going to get the same reaction? The thing is, WWE has conditioned their crowds to what they do. And those crowds don't care. They love that, the nostalgia, bringing back The Undertaker, the American Badass. After Rhea wins, in that moment of him and Rhea, doing the back pose and doing the Undertaker, raising the fist. And it's just those moments. That's what WWE fans kind of clamor to because That's what they've conditioned their fans to. Just like, Tony Khan and AEW, they condition their fans to, the best wrestling matches, and that's what you get there. That's what you go over there to watch. And I love the fact that now the storylines since Revolution, I believe AEW is rolling right now. But when you sit there and you watch WWE, they've conditioned their audience. The audience knows what they're getting. They're there to have the Jey Uso entrance and yeet, and everybody's raising their hands and rocking back and forth. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are on the desk. You've got Io and Dakota Kai there dancing around doing the things. You've got the stuff in the back with, Gabriel Iglesias and New Day comes up, and then they cut New Day off because the time is up instead of letting them go. And, it's just those things they've conditioned the audience to. That's what the WWE universe is conditioned for. They don't need, 17 match card. They don't need a 10 match card, a 7 match card. 4 matches, 5 matches, entertain us, get us in, get us out, throw some nostalgia around. And it's good. So, that's the one thing that I thought. Then you had Chad Gable issued a challenge to Creed Brothers in their red and blue. I love the American Made thing. I want them to get a little bit more going. I think they could be a good little faction. I really do. Drew and Jay was next. Travis Scott came out. He's vaping. He got to join. It's Netflix. I guess they're just saying, hey, here's your new Netflix era. Enjoy it. The camera angles, the drone going around as everybody's doing the yeet. Again, it's a cinematic type moment when you watch it. And if you're on X or Blue Sky or Facebook or any of them, I'm sure you're going to get to see some of these angles. If you don't watch wrestling and you don't have Netflix, you didn't watch it there, go look at some of these clips. It's top notch, man, to me. Excuse me there. You also had the Jey Uso match. I thought they started it fast, then it slowed down. It was a good match. I loved the ending. I did. I love the fact that Drew gets caught, rolled up 1, 2, 3, and then now you can continue on. It gives Jay a main event caliber opponent with Drew, kind of just building it up, And again, if you want to elevate Jay or elevate Drew, which Drew is already elevated, and I don't know that Jay needs to be elevated anymore. I mean, if you watch his entrance, you know that he's got the crowd in the palm of his hand. And that's the other thing too with, a lot of the stuff that WWE has conditioned its fans, that a lot of times they have the fans right there. The Rock, he raises the mic, he lowers the mic, they start chanting, he raises the mic. John Cena, he does his stuff where he pauses, the crowd gets going. They've conditioned the crowd to be what they need to be. Then you had Roman, the wise man, walking in the back, and he's like, oh, we need a date. We need a date. And I believe he said January. Did he say January 7th or January 27th? And then they close the door, and it's WWE 2K25. So, again, there's your announcement on the video game. More celebrities. They did the Hogan thing, came out, and he got booed. And then it was Punk against Rollins to end the night. And the match, I thought, was great psychology. It was, neither of them wanting to lose to the other, trying to use each other's finishing move to finish the opponent off. In the end, CM Punk hits back-to-back GTSs and gets to 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you saw Seth Rollins at the end. He had blood trickling down. I couldn't tell if it was from his head, his ear. It wasn't like a big, crimson mask or anything, but I don't know if he got hit by something or if something happened, but he definitely had some blood trickling down. They did the thing where they're still facing off. I don't know if it's over, although that was a pretty clean pin as far as, a back-to-back GTSs and a 3 count. I don't know that, Maybe you could say he caught him off guard or something. I don't know. But to me, I thought that was kind of the way to end that, or at least move on. Maybe Seth goes heel after this, and because he gets mad because he didn't beat Punk, and with all the history there, it makes him go crazy once again. You know, again, Seth is the one that kind of goes heel baby, heel baby, heel baby. He can change the character. He stays gray, kind of. If the fans cheer him, they cheer him. If they boo him, they boo him. And he can go either way. So it's not going to affect anything there. That's pretty much the Raw from me. If you had any comments or you thought of anything like that, you're watching this after. I know it's late or it's early, depending where you're watching from. So when you watch the podcast, you got any comments, please hit the comment button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I appreciate everybody that has been tuning in here. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in here tonight with me here on the Raw recap. We will be doing a Squared Circle Digest tomorrow, starting at 7. I don't know if Frankie's going to be on with me tomorrow. He's a little under the weather, so hopefully he will be on. If not, though, again, the Squared Circle Digest is back Tuesday, 7 p.m. We will also record and post a NXT recap on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday will be a live Dynamite recap. Friday will be a live SmackDown recap. And then if we go into any pay-per-views or anything like that, we will also keep you updated to that. Squared Circle Digest is back and rolling. Talking Racing now, coming to Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel as well once the Daytona 500 kicks off, which is the beginning of February. So we'll have that going. And then also on Sean Stanley Sports Talk, we'll be talking Panthers, Marlins, Heat, Dolphins, and all South Florida sports there. So appreciate you. If you can, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it. We'll be here for you each and every day going forward. I apologize. I had to take a month off here in December, but we're back with all live shows except for Tuesday. Tuesday's a Squared Circle Digest show, which we discuss WWE, AEW, New Japan, everything in that show. And then you'll have your Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and SmackDown recaps. NXT will be recorded. All others will be live right here. It is the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. If you're on X at Stanley Media House, please hit the follow, hit the subscribe, hit the like. And for everybody, as I say every time, so long from the Sunshine State.